Hello and welcome to the All Night Gamers Podcast, episode 26. That's right, episode 26. We've been doing this crappy show for half a year now. I'm so sorry.
I'm not.
But for real though, yeah, it's been 6 months. That's 6 months worth of episodes, and I am very impressed that we've managed to keep this up for this long. Um,
Very
so
consistent.
thank you. Thank you for joining us on this very special edition of the show. I hope you're doing very well, especially if you're on the East Coast in any form. I hope you're staying very safe with all of the bad weather right now. We're kind of south, so we're not getting it as bad as some folks, but it is pretty terrible right now. It's very miserable, so I hope you're staying warm. Anyway, hi, hello, welcome to the show. We've got a couple special random questions to spur some discussion for this special episode, as long as a bunch of regular news to talk about. New trademarks coming out, new updates coming out, events on certain games. Mario 3D World launched. We'll talk about that a little bit. We have a weird collector's corner question that we're going to be talking about. And we're going to finish off with a very interesting scenario that is sort of like, it's one of those questions like, you're stuck on a desert island, you only can bring 5 games with you, what games do you pick? Kind of sounds something like that, but not that question. It's something different. Anyway,
Something cooler than that.
yeah, something more interesting. So, yeah, this episode is half a year of the All Night Gamers podcast. That's just weird. I really didn't expect to keep this up for more than like 3 weeks when we started.
Hey.
If I was going to be honest.
Three weeks is when we decided to just put it on the channel. So
Well, I'm glad you remember stuff like that. I can't remember numbers like that.
is it something score related? I ain't gonna remember it. If it's something stupid in the eyes of 99% of people, I will remember it.
So let's get into the news. Let's get right into the show. So Nintendo and Microsoft are teaming up to bring the Nintendo Concierge service to help people sweat up Switches. It's like a modern version of the Nintendo Power
Oh,
Hotline
yeah, that.
from back in the day, except really just not as cool, to be honest. But it's live now, and you can already book sessions. Nintendo.com/Nintendo Switch Concierge. They say, to quote the page, Nintendo Switch Concierge is a new, no-cost pilot program for new Nintendo Switch system owners. Participate in a virtual one-on-one meeting with a Nintendo representative to ask questions, get answers, and learn more about everything your Nintendo Switch system has to offer. So basically, you just go to this page, you pick a topic out of the 6, Nintendo Switch 101, getting started on games, what to play next with games, security and privacy, your Nintendo account, and customization. Those are the 6 options, and you pick one of those, and you can book a time. They're open like starting tomorrow from this recording. So literally, the second you hear this, you could go and book a thing. I'm not really sure why you would do that, unless you just really need some help. No judgment there. And they also have slots at like 7 in the morning, so you can get up super early and talk to people about your Nintendo Switch. So
Yeah, I ain't getting up that early.
Yeah. Well, it's
I
different
do it
because
for
we
work.
already kind of like know everything, so there's no reason.
That's also true.
They say you must be at least 18 years old, which is weird. You think they would make this kind of for kids in some aspects? Because that's certainly what the Nintendo Power Hotline was for back in the day. They would like give you game hints and stuff. I'm surprised there's no like hints on games thing. That would be really cool if they did that. But yeah, that's up now. So if you need help with your Nintendo Switch in any shape or form, you can now book a virtual meeting. I don't know if they don't say what service they use. You just get an email and they
It's probably like a Microsoft Teams sort of deal.
yeah, I guess, but when on the Connect section they say chat with a Nintendo representative via a video call. They don't say like if it's by Microsoft Teams, but if they team up with Microsoft to do this, then I'd hope it's Microsoft Teams.
If it's not directly Teams, it's definitely going to be something similar.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's Nintendo Teams.
Oh,
Nintendo doesn't have the servers for that.
Yeah, dude, Nintendo's still.
Don't worry
sorry.
about it.
We're still in the
You
midst of
have to
getting
use
off of Windows 98 servers. I don't think they can handle video calls.
No, it just has a function that checks if it's running on Windows 98. Why?
I mean, good lord, did anyone try the Wii U virtual video chat they had? That was rough.
it's fun, but terrible at the same time. Also, you keep saying back in the day, but none of us are that old to where we use the power.
Back in the day, circa 2013. That is 7 years. I think that counts. Everything happens so
2013 is
fast
8
these
years.
days. Yeah,
No, the power hotline wasn't then, right?
No, the
I think
power
you could still
hotline was.
technically call into it.
You could call into it up to like until the Wii U launched. I think like up around that time.
I see.
It
I
lasted
thought
a
it closed
long
way
time.
sooner, and I was like, I'm not. We're
No.
not that old. But yeah, okay then. Yeah, we are that old. We're pretty.
But yeah, it was only really popular back like before the internet. When you had to either hope you had a friend that was really good at games, or you bought the Nintendo Power guides, or call the Nintendo Power hotline. But then once the internet came up, it kind of really faded out. I think that's why they stopped it. But it's cool they're doing some other kind of service like this too. So next up, a new Zelda trademark has been pretty much renewed for Phantom Hourglass, Wind Waker, and Skyward Sword. I highly doubt that those 3 games would be the one chosen if they were a trilogy thing, like everyone's been rumoring.
If we're gonna
That's
a
a
trilogy with
selection.
with Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass, just put Spirit Tracks and we're good. We have the 2.
Yeah, and then Skyward Sword. That'd be like taking out Wind Waker and putting Zelda 2 or something.
No, it said Wind Waker, right? It says Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah, I'm saying like it's
Yeah.
like Skyward
Skyward
Sword being in there as
Oh,
out of place as
yeah.
putting Zelda 2 in there or something.
Yeah, they could put Phantom Hourglass and then release that as the 35th Zelda thing, and then just release Skyward Sword like Super Mario 3D World.
Well, I want to point out if they did a compilation thing, yes, it would be very obvious to have both Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks in it, but it was also obvious to have Galaxy 1 and 2 in the Mario version of the same product, and they didn't do that.
That's big
You're
facts.
right,
Man,
but it would
speaking big
literally
facts.
kill me because I like Spirit Tracks better.
Alex, you don't like Boat Simulator?
I have a boat simulator. I like Spirit Tracks
Ooh,
better than
guys.
Phantom Hourglass.
We're gonna get Boat Simulator, but with amiibo functionality.
Let's go.
Pause. Alex, when you say you
Ignore.
have Boat Simulator, are you referring to Wind Waker, or are you referring to some other kind of boat game?
Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass.
Okay.
Cooper
you
was
said-
asking me if I didn't like Boat Simulator.
Yeah, and
I
your
was
response
saying
was,
I
I
like-
have Boat Simulator.
Whatever.
Not an answer.
Oh.
I just got a little confused. Want to clear that up. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, no news to report other than the
I thought I said I
trademarks were
liked
renewed.
it better. Whatever.
Trademark renewals mean nothing.
Yeah. So
If they meant something, we'd have Mother 3 by now.
yeah, true.
We'd have so
Um,
many games by now.
The Stardew Valley 1.5 update that came out on PC back in December, I believe, is now officially live on all platforms.
Thought it was January.
It might have been early January. I can't quite remember. But at least a month ago.
We've talked about.
Yeah, we talked about it when it dropped
The
on
start,
PC. I have played that some today. I'll talk about it a little in the Collector's Corner about some of the other things they've added. That's pretty cool. But I still haven't experienced a lot of the endgame content they've added because I'm still stuck on some old things that I still haven't taken care of that I have to do first. Anyway, that's for Collector's Corner. So yeah, that's up live now on all platforms if you are into that. The Kingdom Hearts franchise is coming to PC asterisk Epic Game Store for full price.
Oh.
You're getting getting a Keyblade for Kingdom Hearts 3 through there. Woo, I know, big whoop. So yeah, if you we're really hoping for it to come to PC. I hope you don't mind the Epic Game Store, because that's where it's going to be exclusively.
It could be
Or
worse.
just wait a year.
It could be Stadia.
That's not coming to PC.
Oh, you mean like was it Resident Evil 8 that's rumored as Stadia?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
one of the
suck.
Resident Evil games was supposedly leaked. It was in that leak we talked about in November.
Well, at least it's not a Stadia exclusive.
Dude, I can't imagine making a Stadia exclusive. Like, there.
Neither can Google,
You are-
apparently.
Got him.
Anyway, Persona 5 Strikers is offering bonus battle music if you have save data on your platform. Depends on what you're playing on, but Last Surprise from Persona 5 and Takeover from Persona 5 Royale are bonus battle music. If you have the PS4 version of Persona 5 Strikers, you are required to have save data from either Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal. If you have the Switch version of Strikers, you're required to have save data from Smash Ultimate, and you have to own Joker in Smash Ultimate. And if you're buying the Steam version of Persona 5 Strikers, then you have to beat the game to get the music. But it is available. It sounds like the PS4 version's the easiest one to get. Switch not far behind that, but it sucks that the Steam.
Steam version
You
gets
just have to beat the game. Like, you don't have any.
I was surprised Steam's wasn't they didn't link it to Golden since they had just ported it
Yeah, that would be
last
smart.
year.
Or like, can you get the music from beating the game on the other platforms too if you don't own that stuff?
I don't know. There's not like much known.
Okay.
That's
Well, I hope it
probably-
does, because you think they'd
knew-
offer it regardless if you beat the game.
Yeah, I knew the save data things were in the game when the game came out last year in Japan, but it was only recently that it got announced that we'll also get the save data things.
Okay. So yeah, bonus music for Persona 5 Strikers. When does that game come out?
That is coming out
Uh,
in 12. No, that doesn't make sense.
In 12.
hold on.
Got it.
Hold on. Wait. 26.
So if you have the deluxe, it releases. I don't.
The 26th, you
It's-
said, Cameron?
No. Well, yeah.
It's,
no.
12.
if you have the deluxe version on PS4, you get it 4 days early.
No, deluxe edition on anything. It releases in 3 days.
Oh,
Oh, so the day after this episode goes up.
Yeah.
yes.
Dang. Do y'all have the deluxe version? Are y'all getting it at all?
Alex has it on PS4. I'm getting it on Switch.
Okay.
Yeah. So it will come out on the 19th on, for people who have the deluxe version, and then it will come out on the 23rd
For everybody else.
yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll have a little bit of time to at least get into it a little bit.
Play
before.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least enough to talk about it next week. That'd be cool.
I hope so.
Going off of kind of the random news here, a Pokemon concert, follow me, keep listening, with Post Malone, I promise it's almost over, is coming in just over
12
2
days.
weeks from our recording. So the 27th of February, which is the last Saturday in February, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's all we've got. There's a 6-second teaser on Pokemon's Twitter, where if you watch it, it is a 6-second clip of Post Malone coming out on stage, morphing into a Fortnite character, and then a Pokemon logo. And I know I'm not really helping it keep the confusion down, but if you watch the teaser, you will know exactly what I mean when I say Fortnite character. Further announcements are coming this month. Pokemon Week is next week, and we will be doing some cool Pokemon discussion for Collector's Corner next week to celebrate Pokemon Week.
Can't wait to argue with you about why Gen 3 and 4 are the best again.
This is not a debate of the best Pokemon game, but I'm not going to say what
Yeah,
I want
if
to
it was, it would be Crystal or Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Thank you. But it is not that debate. It is something else. But you'll have to tune in next week to figure out what it is.
And we'll also debate which is the best game because
We'll probably
we can't
do-
help ourselves.
Yeah, we'll probably devolve into that because we're apes. But anyway, yeah. So there will be
Yoga.
So yeah, we'll also be sure to mention anything else that comes out of Pokemon. Hopefully some Diamond and Pearl remakes or Let's Go Johto or something,
Oh,
please.
yes.
So yeah, all in-person Pokemon events, speaking of Pokemon, including the World Championships, are canceled for this year entirely and are planned to return in 2022, barring any major world disaster. So I
Fingers
hope,
crossed.
yeah. So hope you weren't planning on competing in that. And if you were, wow, I'm very happy that competitive
Wait,
you
Pokemon
are
players
good at
listen
that
to this show.
What are we gonna talk about next week? Is it gonna be Zelda or Pokemon?
Yes.
Yes.
We're going to talk about both.
Zelda's is the next week. It's the 21st.
But Pokemon is the 27th.
We'll do both, okay? We'll figure
Welcome
it
to
out.
All Night Gamers Podcast, where we talk about scheduling.
Ocarina of Time versus Pokemon Platinum, which is a better game?
I'd rather play Ocarina of Time, so I guess that one.
Let's see, which one's slower? Platinum.
And our final piece before we get into our Collector's Corner for the week, Mario 3D World is out now. It's finally upon us. It's among us. Kind of sus.
It's
I'm sorry,
not
that's so
among
cringe.
us.
That's so
When
cringe.
the
Anyway, yeah,
imposters
Super Mario
sus.
3D World among us. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is officially
What's
out.
Among Us?
And we're going to kind of discuss a little bit what we thought about it. Cameron, you said you and Alex both have already 100% at it. Bowser's Fury,
Yes.
anyway.
Bowser's Fury,
Bowser's
yeah.
Fury, yeah. I
Um,
would have liked to have gotten some time to play the online, but I'm sure it's very similar to what we played years ago.
It's very quick.
yeah.
If you're even decent at Mario, you'll beat it very fast.
I'm
I-
maybe like 20 or 25 cat shines into it. I've been
You're already a fourth of the way through.
I've been putting most of the time I've played the game into Mario 3D World to actually 100% it, because I never did that on the Wii U version because I just didn't really care. But now that the movement has been bumped up, I don't find it so tedious anymore. I find it a little bit more
Do you
fun to
feel
play.
the considerable speed?
Yes,
difference?
yes, I very much do. It is so noticeable, and it is such a good change. I think it's an amazing improvement. It's not enough where it's like jarring. I've had a couple difficult moments hitting blocks and stuff because I play as Luigi and his jump is super like woggly.
See,
So, and I also have a bad habit of just always holding the run button, which now I have to actively think about because it's pretty fast. It's not uncontrollably fast, but it really just kind of picks the pace up a little bit. So I've been enjoying it much more so far. I'm already like almost. I'm at the boss fight of World 3 right now.
Nice.
And 25 shines into Bowser's Fury. By the way, Bowser's Fury is just kind of weird. I heard a description that was like, if Mario 3D World is 2D plus 3D Mario, but it's closer to 2D, Bowser's Fury is like the other way around. It's like 2D plus 3D, but there's more 3D stuff in it.
Dude, hitting blocks in Bowser's Fury is annoying because I keep wanting to treat them like they're supposed to be 2D almost, and then it's like, oh, I missed it. Oh, I missed it again.
Yeah, it's a little weird, and the Bowser's, or like Fury Bowser's mechanic kind of gets old. But I mean, it's fun, like the challenges in it. I also don't like how sometimes like the level requires you to leave the area and then come back so that it can reset for the next shine. That is very weird. It's like I've had to find myself getting on whatever his name is, the fast swimming dinosaur, and Plessy, yeah, and then riding to some other area and then triggering that area, like jumping on it to register that I'm there,
Reloading
and then
it,
getting back on,
yeah.
going back to the other area just so that it will let me do the next shine, because there's like different stuff that changes in the same linear section. So
Yeah, that becomes easier when you've
beat the game one or when you hit 50, you get the first final boss, quote unquote, and once you do that, you can start warping. So you can just like once you start warping, if you warp to the same area that you're on, it reloads the area. So.
And you can't collect all 100 before anyways, because some are locked to beating the boss once.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm not speed running it or anything. I'm kind of taking my time with it, especially since I'm not focusing on one piece of the game. I'm playing both just back and forth.
Yeah. The music in Bowser's Fury, though, top-notch Nintendo.
Pretty good. I also forgot how much I really appreciate basic Mario music, especially recently with all the 3D games I've been playing, where like each thing has a pretty wildly different style and sound, and then you just go back to 3D World and it's just that classic jazz music. It's appreciative to go back to it. I prefer 3D Land's music to 3D World's music, although they're not that different. But
3D Land should have gotten ported.
3D Land is really good, and
it should have been ported.
It's more funky music style, so I appreciate it a bit more. But yeah, also there's the pins come out the day this episode comes out, so I hope you registered your card like we told you to. Because if you don't, you're going to be late, and they're probably not going to have any more. Although
higher chance.
The set 1 pins are still back in stock right now. Last time I checked.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you just have to have a code for them.
Yeah, you have to have the code. Like they made more, so that you probably just don't get like the first batch, but you'll probably still have a chance if it's anything like the first set of pins. But like I said, you do have to make sure you register that game if you got it physically. If you got it digitally, you don't have to worry about it. But
you also probably want to get it done by 8 if it is possible to get multiple.
Yeah. So yeah, on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central, the pins will be going
probably
live.
A little bit earlier.
Yeah. So be sure to be ready for that. Especially if you're listening to it in the morning that this comes out. Otherwise, let's just hope there's more in stock and they treat it like the first pin set, where after a bit they bring more in. I'm very excited to get that second set now. I'm ready for that sunshine pin.
Dude, I'm hoping it does not throw me off getting those. I want them.
I'm sure.
I don't think it will.
I mean, even if you do get thrown off, I'm fairly confident they'll make more. Because they don't want to catch more flack that they always do for not making enough things.
Well,
it'll be interesting.
My code for the original pins broke.
That is true.
I can't even get them. I guess I could go through like the process of explaining to Nintendo how that it broke, but I don't know.
I mean, worth a shot, I guess. Depends on how much you care about those pins.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem.
Also, weekly sales charts for the UK are out, and it shows that not only did Mario 3D World top the charts, which usually a Nintendo game does, at least the first week it comes out, but it also sold 3 times what it did when the Wii U version launched, which is good to see.
Not surprising, but good to see.
That's not a lot. I mean, like 3 times 5 is only 15, but yeah, that kind of hurts. But yeah, it's doing pretty well. I'm excited to see sales numbers for the rest of the world, and I'm excited to keep playing through it. I'm very much enjoying it. Really, just the speed boost makes everything so much better. I've already had a way better time, just because I can go faster. And with that, we move on to Collector's Corner for the week. So this is the weekly segment where we go around talking about the games we've been playing in the past week, any pickups, if any other collector's things. And we're also going to talk a little bit about the infamous theory that blowing on your game cartridges works.
Or does it?
I have. I know it doesn't physically work, but I swear it does anyway. We'll get into that anyway.
Let's talk about games
Cooper, you go first.
Wait for what?
Collector's Corner.
Bro.
Yeah, thanks for watching the ANG podcast.
You go first for bra moment.
Yeah, getting kicked off the show.
I've been playing not a lot. I've been playing a lot of Heroes, and I've been playing a bit of Captain Toad with Haley, but I think that's about it.
I need to 100% that game at some point.
That's a good game. Alex and I 100% it up. It's still actively being uploaded to the channel.
And are we doing the next thing?
No,
or...
no, we'll hit that kind of as a collective at the end.
Okay.
Alex.
Alright, I beat 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, like the day after we recorded the last podcast.
Is it long?
Hold on, I have my time here. It took me just under 30 hours to 100%
when did you
the
get?
game.
You must have gotten that like earlier in the previous week or something.
No,
I've had it since
that was a
Christmas.
gift.
Oh, that was a Christmas.
Technically,
Okay.
It's been in the house since October.
Okay. When you
Because
said you
Alex
got
wanted
it,
the
or
Played
I guess-
it.
Yeah, you didn't
that
say you got it.
fast,
You
yeah.
said you had been playing it. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I was remembering as if you had said you got it last week, and I was like, you put 30 hours in that game already? I thought you had tests.
I mean, look,
Like,
he does have tests. That's why he wanted to finish the game.
fair enough.
Yeah, most of the time comes from the previous week. Monday and Tuesday was just finishing it up.
Okay. Is that all you've been playing?
I
I guess you played 3D World, right?
played 3D World. Or not 3D World. I
Bowser's
played
Fury.
Bowser's Fury as a break,
Okay.
and it didn't take long,
6
but it was pretty
six
fun.
hours is kind of a high estimate. I feel like.
I'm just glad they didn't try to sell it as like a standalone thing.
Dude, that
Well, if they did, people would complain on the next Mario game if they'd sold it for like 20. They'd be like, "Well, you sold the last Mario game for $20."
which is exactly why they just included it in the port.
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, to be fair, Bowser's Fury is a $20 value. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's
has almost as many
like all the-
stars as Sunshine in 64, but they're not as spread out.
Yeah, but like
It's a lot
there's
faster.
That's not fair to compare, number of shines directly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to get them. I feel like the Nintendo kind of has this thing where it would be about a $25-ish value for about 6 to 7 hours if you're average at the game. The thing is, I'm not average at Mario, so
Yeah. Mayo.
Skyrim binge still going strong. I've unfortunately had an eye strain migraine for the past few days, so I'm still gaming, but it's to my own detriment.
You gotta
But
get you some of those
it's-
blue light glasses, bro.
I have them. They're built into my prescription ones. It
Oh,
makes
really?
me look like
that's
a
cool.
No, it's not. Because I have that and the transition lenses, which makes me look like an anime protagonist whenever I go out in the sun because my glasses are
I
purple and
see.
reflective.
I
Hey,
see. I have.
yo. Real life anime girls are possible?
I just have
That has
two
nothing
sets
to
of
do with any of
glasses.
that.
One that's sunglasses and one that's regular glasses.
I want to get like a separate one now that I've realized that my glasses have this stupid purple tint. But yeah, it's just not been doing much. I think it's a combination of me having to be online a lot for classes and for studying for my certification and stuff, and then also gaming, and my desk being tiny. Like, I assume my monitor is maybe a few inches too close to my face, so
It's highly probable.
I probably just have to work on that. But anyway, the Skyrim binge is going well when I can play it. I've been playing a lot of Magic Arena. This is the first time that I've gotten in kind of early on one of the ranked seasons, and I'm doing well. I'm in Silver Tier 1 for the first time. Usually I can't make it past like Silver Tier 4. I'm using a deck that I like, so I'm hoping I can reach Platinum at least. And then my usual little anecdote for, non-video game gaming, I've been able to find some time to do D&D stuff. I've actually been able to find some time to paint some 40K stuff, which has been a long time coming because I've got a very big pile of shame on my desk right now. But I was able to pick up the free minis.
Now, Mayo, that could be a lot of things.
That it could be. I realize if no one watching this is in the sort of miniature wargaming community, that could sound like a lot of things, but I promise it's a colloquial term that just means a bunch of unpainted or primed stuff on your table.
Okay.
I promise it's a term. But I'm actually working on some dudes right now. But I'm slowly catching up. So yeah, that's about it. Not too many video games though, unfortunately. Oh, an interesting thing did happen. So we had a Minecraft server Mary and I did with some of our other friend group, and we all hadn't been on it in a while, even though we had put a lot of work into it. So the person who was paying for the realm was saying like, hey, I'm going to deactivate the realm. But then immediately everyone just like begged him to save the world file. So that is saved for posterity if we ever come back to it, which is pretty cool because that was the most progress I think Mary and I have ever made on a group Minecraft server.
Yeah,
but yeah,
if I recall
Group
correctly,
Minecraft.
it wasn't the one that we did on this server, but I did one with Dakota, and I remember that the only thing he did was planted the berry bushes. I don't know what they, I don't know what kind of berry it is, but they have like thorns, so when you walk in them you get hurt.
Yeah, the holly bushes.
Yeah, and he just planted those everywhere. So it was like a death maze
Nice.
in the base.
Group Minecraft servers are hard because you always have that one person who gets really far ahead of everybody.
Well, I feel like that's the problem with most multiplayer games where you're not required to play all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you remember that one freshman year when all of us got super mad at Greg, so we griefed the hell out of his base.
Yeah, we planted that big old tree.
Dude, that was such a good meme.
Classic gamer moment.
Yeah.
Pro gamer move. Plant big tree inside dumb person base.
Brilliant.
What was his base made out of?
Dirt.
It was underground, from what I remember.
Yeah, it was like a few
I
levels
see.
underground, and it was just massively expansive with tons
So
of
you just
things.
planted a tree.
No, we had a mod installed where you could plant like a certain pattern of saplings, and they would grow into like a 10 by 10 tree. So we grew that tree in his base.
Right in the lobby to it. Like I think he had a skylight, and we just mined down and then did the tree thing, and it just there's a big tree coming out of the ground now.
Oh, dude, he was so mad. All right, well, Cameron.
Okay, let's see. I have played Persona 3. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to play that with work. I finished Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Finally. It only took, the Switch release. and our original playthrough, or starting of a playthrough on All Night Gamers for me to get anywhere with it. It's like a 40-hour game. It's not bad.
I'm glad you finally beat it.
hmm Let's see what else. Bowser's Fury, which definitely recommend, especially if you haven't played 3D World. It's a nice little 2-for-1. I got the Target pre-order pickup in store bonus, whatever you want to call it,
water
for
bottle?
3D World. Yeah, it's a water bottle. It's nice. And I found one of my gaming shirts that I haven't seen in 2 years. So
Hey, I'm wearing my Al Delfino shirt right now that I just recently found.
nice.
Speaking of.
Jealous.
It's a good. I like the Al Delfino shirt.
It's a great shirt.
Yeah. I don't enjoy wearing the Splatoon shirts because that like big just print on the front makes it so unbreathable.
At least it isn't as bad as their shirt, middle school shirts where they were like completely like fully printed all over. So it would be like the hottest shirt, and they wanted us to wear them a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bad times.
school's just a bad time.
Yeah. Okay.
Imagine having a black band uniform during 100-degree summers.
We did.
We had.
Hey,
that.
we had wool outfits until senior year. So
Yeah, actually, we
Yeah,
did
at
too.
which-
yeah,
which
so
point
we
we got
are
black
on that. We feel you.
uniforms.
We feel you on that.
We definitely feel you on that. Coopers had black uniforms this whole time.
Yeah, but at least they're a lot lighter than what we wore.
Yeah, they're not like 25 pounds.
Right.
That's true.
So, let's see. So I bought a lot of games last week for my personal birthday splurge, and I got Namco Museum Volume 3, Pac-Man World 1, and Q*bert on PS1. They made a 3D remake of Q*bert, which I learned when I bought it. I was like, I have to play this.
I was gonna check that.
And then I got Rayman Legends on Wii U. I got Scribblenauts for DS, Picross 3D, which you see all these like mobile game ads now for like essentially Picross, where like you get numbers on the side and you have to figure out which blocks are needed and which blocks aren't to make puzzles. That's essentially Picross. I had no idea they were ripping off Picross this entire time until I played Picross 3D. I was like, oh, it's just a rip off of that. Very good.
90% of people can't solve this level, can't get past level 5. I can't figure out the this grid. And then for some reason they somehow make the ad sexual.
True.
Nintendo still does Picross games though. I think it's been a while.
Yeah, it has
Well,
been a
I
while.
mean,
The
they
one I
also
got was
still do
on
Brain
DS.
Age, and that just never released here for the Switch.
But it is an incredibly good puzzle game, and it's so much nice to enjoy when it's not a mobile game filled with ads. So
Yeah,
I've been playing a good bit of that in between Apex waiting lobbies. A lot of Apex season and the new event, which I finally got the skin for yesterday for the Spitfire, and holy crap, is that a awesome
Dude.
skin.
oh yeah, I've been playing Apex with Grant. It's that whole event was
Yeah.
nice.
And Mayo,
Wish
you
I'd
mentioned
points.
ranked. We'd been doing ranked, and
I am
think I mentioned this
bad.
before the show. Yeah, so
Oh my gosh, I am so bad at ranked.
the ranked thing in Apex is you start in bronze, and then it's silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, and then if you're one of the top 500 players in the game, you get Apex Predator, which is incredibly difficult to do because every time that we've tried to do ranked, we get to platinum and then we don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
So
that sounds about right.
Dude, I'm gonna be interested with how many people are continuously joining Apex if they increase the number of predators just a smidge.
No.
I mean, you're probably right. They won't, but it's kind of hard to be top 500 when you got over 1 million players.
yeah.
Well, interestingly, I was thinking about this. I mean, I don't know if Magic Arena has as many players as Apex I would assume it doesn't. But the ranks in Ranked for Magic Arena are bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and then mythic. Like it just skips to the best one, and there's no diamond rank. And then I don't think they have a specific like top 500 in the world type deal. So I wonder what the point is, because I'm sure it's established through games like League and Overwatch, where it's like, okay, if you have X amount of users, you need X amount of ranks with this distribution. And I wonder what that is.
Probably
People stuck
chi-squared.
halfway.
There's several different distributions you can use. I would guess chi-squared, but it just depends on how you want to set it up.
Right.
I do know that Apex Predators are terrifying people, and when you jump out of the jump ship, if you have been a Predator in any season of Apex, you have a special dive trail that looks like lightning. So when you see those people landing, you know not to land with them, because you will most
Do you
certainly
have that
die.
trail?
No. Do I? Have I ever
What
been?
part of we get stuck in platinum did you miss?
I say, do you want that trail?
For April Fool's Day, they should change that to fart.
I mean,
I rest my case.
you mean the dive trail?
Yeah, mic drop. That's it. I'm out.
That's pretty much Caustic's battle pass thing when his dive trail. He just farts.
I'm just imagining a hero having like a poop trail now.
You should look up Caustic gas trap, but there's a taunt that he
will.
does when he dives out where he'll open a gas trap and then
And ride it.
saddle it like a horse and ride it and like kick it like he has bridles, and it'll fart. It won't make a noise, like it'll shoot out gas like it normally does, but it's pretty much just a fart trail.
What would I call that? If I were searching.
Caustic gas trap Apex. It's like.
But how do I find someone doing the trail?
I'll send it to you later.
Okay, thank you.
And so, does blowing on cartridges do anything? I swear I know. Look, I've watched so many collector videos. I've watched so many YouTube videos of like how to properly maintain old hardware, how to clean it. If it's not working, don't blow on it because it's bad for the contacts. I get it. But I swear every time. Well, the thing is, what's really frustrating is like it's most common on my N64. I'll like pull out something and I'll put it in and it doesn't work, and I'll pull it out a couple times, and if it doesn't work after like the fifth time, I'm like, okay, the contacts probably need to be cleaned. So I'll quick clean it with a Q-tip and some alcohol and let it dry, and then do it back in, and it doesn't work. And I try it like 5 more times, it doesn't work. I blow on it one time and it works. You can't tell me that it doesn't work. I do all the things that everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't blow on your cartridges.
Do you blow on it, or do you use compressed air?
I blow on it. Compressed air doesn't do it either. I've tested this too.
Stop blowing on things.
This is so frustrating. Why?
I agree with you like 100%. I'm like, I should use compressed air, but it doesn't work.
It's
just
something about the moisture in your breath that fixes a cartridge.
Yeah, moisture on an electric circuit. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. It's
But-
bad for
That's
contacts.
crazy.
Your
But
saliva is corrosive.
if it works, then there's gotta be something, right?
I mean, like
No,
when I
but-
first heard it and I like cleaned my contacts, like my games worked more often without me needing to try multiple times. But like if it doesn't, blowing fixes it.
Maybe it's time to just take it apart completely and just do a deep clean.
I
Yeah,
do that with every console I buy, bro. I deep
Not the
clean-
console, the game.
and the games too. Every piece of retro hardware I buy, I test it to make sure it works and that I didn't get ripped off. And then after that, I take it apart. I check if the battery's dead. I replace the battery if it needs to be replaced. I clean the contacts. I clean the whole freaking board. I clean the inside of the case. I make sure there's no dust. It's pristine. I make sure every game I buy is pristine after I buy it because I'm very OCD about these things. And it still doesn't work until I spit on it, basically. Like, it's one step away from spitting on the contacts.
Until you lick the cartridge.
Yeah, pretty much.
I
Licking,
figured it out.
blowing.
Obviously, Grant, you have electric That's what causes it to work.
Okay, that must be it.
Grant needs to
Yeah.
go on My Strange Addiction for blowing cartridges.
I don't
I'll-
do it for
to blow-
pleasure. I cringe a little bit every time I do it, but it works.
I'll offer a counterpoint. So, yes, it does work for me sometimes. Blowing the cartridge sometimes works. But, and this may be because my first experience with a vintage game console was two NESs that were very out of shape and past their prime. And the games with them were of similar condition. And I think at the time I was watching Angry Video Game Nerd, and he made a video talking about, like, yeah, the blowing thing sometimes works even though it shouldn't, but what you should really do is the isopropyl alcohol on the Q-tip on the contacts. And I did that, and it worked more in that scenario than the blowing on the cartridges did, so now I just default to that instead. And I'll sometimes blow in the cartridge for the heck of it if that doesn't work, but I'd say maybe 8 times out of 10, if I'm in that scenario, it won't work anyway, even if I blow in it.
Yeah, well, okay, first off, the NES is a special condition because the pin system in that is a bad design, and they wear out over time, so you either have to take it out and do something weird like boil it, which I'm not going to explain why you do that, but the pins get bent, and you have to bend them back.
Well,
Long
I
story
will
short.
say the same scenario that I just recounted is the same. It's the same protocol that I follow with SNES stuff, and then I don't own an N64 or a Dreamcast or a Saturn or whatever.
Oh,
I don't own any
Dreamcast
other
is
cartridge
CDs.
games. Oh. Well, you get
Bro,
the
I
point.
just
I
caught you
only
in
own 2
4K, bro.
cartridges.
We just caught you in solid 4K, 60 frames. But yeah, well, see, the thing is, I don't have this problem a lot with SNES stuff. N64 gives me a huge pain. NES doesn't really give me a pain ever since I replaced the pin connectors in the console with like a new set. It's just N64 really doesn't want to work. Sometimes I get lucky and it works for a shot, and that's really impressive. That's like winning the lottery. I just don't know what it is. There's something more to this that I don't know. Like,
Electronics are hard to understand.
well, yes, but based
For
on
real.
my collegiate career of electronics, you don't spit on it. That's the one thing.
Obviously.
There's one thing I learned not to do to your electronics is to spit
It's
on it,
get
especially
them
if it's
wet.
vintage hardware you're trying to keep very nice.
Sounds
and
like you're
functional.
wrong though, Grant, based on antecedent evidence where
Anicetal.
it works.
Yeah, looking at the anesthetics
I have
here.
said probably in every week that don't ask me for pronunciations.
Look, I'm not going to
won't
correct
nail
you.
'em
I'm just
ever.
going to repeat what you said because it's funny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Alright.
Okay.
I know what word I'm thinking of. I can't give you it correctly though.
Anecdotal?
Yes.
Antecedal.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, well, I feel a little better now that I've gotten this problem out of my head. But it's like every video I've ever watched on like collectors and like there's a lot of YouTubers I watch that like own game stores, like in Seattle or Long Island or something, and they talk about, you know, like if your game doesn't work, like don't blow on it. Like if it doesn't work, then obviously means you just need to clean your contacts. And they like show other products to do it, and they say you can just use a Q-tip and some alcohol. It always works. No, it doesn't. It does not. That's a great time for an awkward silence. Moving on to our tidbits.
I mean,
Cooper-
I agree.
Oh,
with
he's
you.
mad.
Yeah, I'm a little heated.
Does blowing on carts actually do anything? The Grant rant.
Cooper, go ahead with the fire with yours.
Okay, let me scroll to okay. So we got a Hero Rises results and Saros Lin, Saros Duo Lin, Legendary Dimitri, Freya, Legendary Korn, Brave Edelgard, Duo Byleth, and Duo Micaiah will be in a voting gauntlet. And the top 4 for that voting gauntlet will be on the banner, and first place for that voting gauntlet will be given free to everyone. So great time to join, Mayo and Grant.
No.
I'm
What's
gonna
that
say
thing Wayne says? Hard no.
Yeah, hard no.
Dang. We got new heroes Enduring Legacy, including Amand, Aranis, Azel, Lex, who's going to be the 4-star emote, and the Thorba, who's going to be the Grand Hero Battle unit. And our next Resplendent unit will be Wing Princess Tana, who is a normal 5-star locked unit, and will, now be given for $10.
Did you say Winged Princess?
Yeah, Winged Princess.
Is she Buffalo style?
Boneless Fire Emblem?
Can I get a boneless Wing Princess?
On God?
No cap?
For real. Yeah, that's it.
No cap, on God, once again, I know nothing about Fire Emblem besides the characters in Smash. And that it's an RPG. And that Three Houses was apparently a good game. I know nothing besides those things. And I realized that my nerdy interests, they spread a decent amount of range. I know some stuff about 40K, I know some stuff about Magic, I know some stuff about comics and movies and video games and all that stuff.
Some stuff about Magic.
Some stuff. But I'm just saying,
There's
like,
a lot to know.
I have this wide range of knowledge, but Fire Emblem is one of the main video game things that can humble me at any waking moment and remind me that I don't know anything about it. Like, this is the same thing where if I were to just spout out Magic card names to you guys, or if I were to spout off Pokemon names to my mom or something.
Yeah,
like,
Kim
yes,
Vouch,
Winged Princess.
You and Ethan, when y'all were talking about Magic stuff, there's not very many things in the world of video games or like gaming in general that sound foreign to me. Like, I don't understand. Like, I get it all, but when y'all were talking, you can just spit out these names, and it was literally like Chinese. Like, it's like very similar, like you said, to trying to describe what an Ethernet cable is to my mother. Like, yeah, and I think you've said that same thing on a previous week about like how you just don't get Fire Emblem, and I've said that several times as well. Like, Cooper says all this stuff, and I just have no idea what it means.
I don't think heroes should be what you base like knowledge off of, though.
Yeah, I know, but like even like the mechanics in there are just like I'm getting a wing princess demote. What?
No, she's gonna be. There's a subscription service. You see,
Fay Pass.
Fay Pass.
Fay Pass.
Yeah.
You have to pay money to get Fay boneless.
For real. $10 a month.
Gross.
Yeah.
Well, okay, moving on with the rest of the tidbits. Apex Legends 2-year anniversary is going on now. We've been playing some of it. It's basically regular mode, except you spawn with a full set of white level gear, and then the only stuff that spawns in the game that is white level is 1x sights for guns. Everything else that spawns is blue level or higher. So it just means like lots of purple armor everywhere, lots of gold guns everywhere. And care packages now have a like solid chance of dropping with gold in Mozambiques, and that is probably some of the most anger you'll see out of me in gaming today, is when I risk my life to go get this care package hoping for a Kraber or Prowler or something, and I get a golden Mozambique. But yeah, that's going on right now.
Ranked, you're just upset, I feel like.
Well, yeah, but that's for a totally different set of reasons. So that's going on for like another week and a few days or so by the time this episode goes live, like just over a week.
It's about a week, yeah.
And if you get 5,000 points in the event, which is not that hard to do, you get a really sick Spitfire skin. That is hard to compete with.
And 2 free anniversary Apex packs.
Yeah,
which
and
are
you get
solid.
a pretty sick anniversary holo to Holo Spray, and you also get a pretty cool R99 skin. It's not as cool as my gold skin, but it is decently cool. Anyway, Star Wars Republic Commandos was leaked for Switch. I'm so out of touch with Star Wars games. Can someone help me here?
It's old. That's all I know about it.
It's old. Got it.
It's like that pod racing game that's on the eShop. It's just like forever ago.
It's popular though, so people are excited.
Okay. Is it like a remake, or is it just a
No,
port,
like
like
a
the
port.
original game? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
the original.
Breaking news: Cameron is bad,
And wrong.
Got
So
him.
the Mario themed Nintendo Switch that came out alongside Super Mario 3D World has red Joy-Cons because it's Mario themed, but the color of the Joy-Cons is different than both the neon red Joy-Con and the Mario Joy-Con from Mario Odyssey. So
How
now,
many shades of red can they make?
so now there
Oh,
are
apparently.
there are 3 shades of red Joy-Cons that you can have now. And as far as I know, you can't buy these outside of buying the console.
I have yet to see the console in stores. I've only been to one
I've
store since
I've
it
seen
released.
I've seen some posts online of people seeing it in the wild.
The year is 2077. Nintendo chose to sink all of their money into making the Switch their eternal console, and now we just get updated versions of it. We have Switch phones now. Nintendo, every 3 months, picks a random hexadecimal value for a red color and releases Joy-Cons of that color. There are 2,700 red Joy-Cons,
Now
all
that's
of fairly
a
different
cyberpunk.
colors.
That's a cyberpunk 2077 that I'd play.
Wake up, Rockstar. It's time for you to have H25578 value Joy-Con.
Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is coming to Switch on March 12th. Yay. For people who saw Crash Bandicoot 3 come out on PlayStation 1 are like, when's there going to be a Crash 4? Well, now there's a Crash 4 on Switch. It's already out on other platforms already for a while, but it is coming to Switch March 12th if you're into that. It's a new developer and stuff, so...
That you were going to make a joke about how there's already a 4th one, and it came out a long time ago.
Yeah, I always thought The Wrath of Cortex was the 4th one, but apparently I'm wrong. It's like a continuation of the original trilogy, as far as I can tell.
Gotcha.
PlayStation 5 DualSense controllers are apparently drifting, just like Joy-Con controllers. Of course they are. Class action lawsuit is already in the works right now. Apparently, enough people have been having issues with this, where like an attorney company, something has started a class action lawsuit. They have a thing up online now where you can go and enter in your information and your problems with the drifting if you have been experiencing them. I'm very happy that I haven't experienced any drift.
But that's a lot faster than the drift first showed up on Joy-Cons.
Yeah,
Which
true.
reminds me, I never got my Pro Controller drift fixed.
Oh,
That happened like a year ago.
yeah.
It's still free.
Well, yeah, I know. I delayed it because I was like, start of the pandemic. I know that they already have stuff like their workload is piled up, so I'm just not going to send it in.
Yeah, that's the same deal with Haley's Disney Zoom Zooms Joy-Con, because
Those are drifting?
Those are drifting.
Dang.
Guess
Not
what?
the Zoom Zooms.
Not the Zoom Zones!
I can't say it's a smart idea to want to send special Joy-Con to get fixed. You never know what you're going to get back.
Right.
I would hope yours. At least we're in America where we have a decent Nintendo self-help instead of Europe where it's like,
Guaranteed back.
go away, loser.
They will send you the original hardware back, like at least the shell. Like they won't like replace your rare Joy-Con with a set of gray Joy-Con or something. I was worried about that because when I got my Pokemon Switch Lite out of the box and it was drifting, I was like, "Are you just gonna slap a black a joystick in there?" Like half of the special edition was the fact that one stick was red, one stick was blue for Sword and Shield. Like, are you just gonna slap a black one in there? And they're like, no, we won't do that. So they do have, like, they certainly won't do that, because that would incur a lot of issues. So many people would be upset.
Yeah.
Like if you sent in your ultra rare Joy-Con, like imagine if your Labo Joy-Con was drifting, so you sent it into Nintendo, and they're like, well, that sucks. Here's some gray ones.
Dude, imagine being the person that won that.
I know.
And having drift.
I actually would.
So I'd be so mad. So like we mentioned earlier, Pokemon Week is next week. Maybe there'll be a direct or something. I really hope there is, because
It's about time.
Crash 4, it's about time.
Pokemon, it's about time.
Just
Because Diamond and Pearl are getting remade, boys.
You just have to believe every week there will be a direct, and then when there is a direct, we're right. So guys, there will be a direct next week. You heard it here first on All Night
said
Gamers.
this last week. Wait a minute.
We are leakers now.
So,
But if we do end up being right about it, tweet at Nintendo of America and directly at Reggie and say we were right about it first. I'm sure they'll love that.
So Pokemon Day is February 24th, which is next Wednesday, which is when episode 27 of this show will be coming out. And so we're just calling that whole next week Pokemon Week. So we might not be able to talk about it because it'll come. They might do like a thing on that Wednesday. But at some point we will talk about it if anything happens. I promise.
So that's when Pokemon Day is, and Pokemon Sleep has been canceled.
Wait,
Pokemon
are you serious?
Night confirmed?
We've never had Pokemon Sleep talked about since that investors meeting or whatever it was, like
I'm
30
just-
years ago.
Assuming it got nixed.
No.
There's a
Look,
future.
Pokemon Company. If it's not Pokemon Go, then you never hear any news about it. I don't know why.
I just can't wait for Pokemon taxes to come out.
New Pokemon Snap took so long for them to actually acknowledge. They were just kind of like, okay.
Pokemon
sure, here's the
TurboTax.
truth.
Pokemon microwave my day old burrito, like just mundane tasks. Pokemon pump gas. So the developer Grezzo, who is responsible for the Link's Awakening remake on Nintendo Switch, they also did the 3DS remakes of Ocarina of Time, or quote remakes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and I think some others as well. They are hiring designers now for a quote medieval style game, which is heavily rumored to be related to Breath of the Wild 2. One of the positions is a programming position, and the other one is like a UI designer. Which, if it is for Breath of the Wild 2, and it's expected to come out this year, that's a little late to hire a UI designer, don't you think?
Just
No.
a smidge.
We've seen like Nintendo and other companies change UIs at last minute, though.
That's very true.
Yeah, or it could be for like a specific feature. I don't know.
Well, you'd think they just use pretty much the same UI for Breath of the Wild 1, maybe just with some
This is
quality of
Nintendo.
life
They
features
can't-
added or something.
They can't do it the easy way.
Yeah. But
They'll
there's
reinvent
no
the wheel.
confirming that this is for a Zelda game. It's just they can't say it's for a Zelda game because
Right.
Nintendo will be upset. They have to say something bland, and as bland as you can go for Breath of the Wild is quote medieval style. So,
It's Fire Emblem. Get ready.
so we have a quick thing here for Animal Crossing's festival event that we mentioned that happened
Today.
as of this recording.
Or-
Yeah, on the 15th.
It was 2 days ago, as of when this recording is uploaded. Bad.
Shocker!
It's okay.
Shocker!
It is not okay. This is hands down the worst holiday they've added to this game. Like, so with Pave, you're supposed to get 10 items. 9 of them you can buy at the Nookling shop before the event. but you still have to get all 9 of the items from Pave in order to get the one exclusive item. Just why would you design it like this?
I didn't know it had that. See, I haven't played it.
Well, that certainly was short. It's bad.
It's
You heard it here
bad.
first. Capcom insiders have backed up the previous claims that have come out of Switch-focused Resident Evil Revelations 3 release. So there's a Resident Evil Revelations 3 in the works?
Supposedly.
For the Switch focused. That sounds so hard to believe. But are these
Capcom has always had a really good relationship with Nintendo. Though. Maybe the 2 ports did incredibly well on the Switch, and they're like, "Oh boy, we could just make
Resident Evil Amiibo."
Please no.
Probably not. But depending on which character they did,
characters.
it would be so. Some of them.
Lady
it depends. If it's like a brand new character, okay, it probably wouldn't do well. But if it's like Chris or Leon, Claire or Jill, you wouldn't be able to find that.
Dude, it'd be like Solaire.
Yeah.
Lady Dimitrescu amiibo?
Well,
if 8 got ported to the Switch, yeah.
Look.
It will just be on
your
Nintendo
Switch
Online.
Your Switch
Like
is on fire, but you get
7 runs
amiibo
on something
Cloud.
in Japan.
It runs on the Cloud in Japan.
Right, that's what they can do for 8 Cloud, but Japanese exclusive.
Final Fantasy and Resident Evil confirmed. Japan only.
Japan.
Got it.
So
we solved it.
Okay, so on to the finishing stuff. So we have some more Nintendo Switch games that have been leaked because they have been officially rated for the Switch. Ace Attorney Chronicles, which we already talked about from that major Capcom leak that happened a while back. So that has now been rated for Switch. Tales from the Borderlands has been rated for Switch. Secret Neighbor, which is the sequel to Hello Neighbor. And SnowRunner, which, if I have it correct, SnowRunner is like an Ice Road Truckers game. It's not themed around Ice Road Truckers, the show, but
oh man,
it's a SnowRunner is a 2020 off-roading simulation video game, but like the main photos of SnowRunner is like an 18-wheeler carrying like 75 pipes on a trailer driving up a hill in the snow, followed by a Hummer.
Right, you figured out the game.
Yeah, so just like driving a bunch of jacked out stuff in terrible weather, when it seems. So that's coming to Switch too. But it's nice to see that the Ace Attorney Chronicles thing has been rated now, so we do know that's actually coming relatively soon.
Being called Chronicles is so weird.
Yeah, true. And
I just remembered a thing that I should have added to the finishing topics, and I don't remember if we've talked about this recently. Sorry to interject. You know the Borderlands movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a thing? Did you see who just got cast?
I do now.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Jack Black is going to play Claptrap.
Yeah, that was.
I did see something about that. Yeah.
That was announced after the podcast last week.
Yeah, I hadn't even known that it was a movie. I'm a little bit worried about Kevin Hart as Roland, but the other casting choices are pretty good.
Depends if
those two are on a movie.
Jack Black has really become whack. I'm sorry for the rhyme. But I saw he put a video on his Instagram the other day where it's like crack of dawn, like the sun is rising. It has barely like breached the horizon. And he comes out to his pool, because of course he has one, and his big frame with a Speedo. I'll just let you picture that.
Cursed.
I apologize
I hate
for that.
You should
and,
be.
And then he has, he has a towel that he throws off to the side, and then on the other hand, he has a stalk of, or not a stalk of corn, but a piece of corn on the cob. And he's like, "This is what I do every morning. Crack of dawn, I get in the jacuzzi, corn on the cob."
We're already
And-
beyond cursed.
Heck yeah,
and then
dude.
he proceeds to get in the pool, which I guess he calls the jacuzzi, but it was definitely it was not a jacuzzi. It was a pool that he got into with corn on the cob, so he could eat corn on the cob.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
chlorine
corn-
cob.
Chlorine cob. Well, he didn't dip it in the water. Like, he's not eating it underwater, but like. Okay, now you're getting corn in the pool, which I guess is not a problem to him because he probably just pays people to clean the pool. Although, if you were that person and you saw like chunks of corn in the pool, like, dude, what are you doing in your pool? And he's like,
You know, I think that if I
Every
signed up to
morning,
be
crack
Jack
it
Black's
down.
housekeeper, I'd expect it.
and he's like
True.
every morning, and I'm sure he was just doing that for comedic effect, but I would not doubt that that man wakes up at like 6 a.m. every day and
To jump in the jacuzzi.
and grabs a leftover piece of corn on the cob and munch on it in the jacuzzi.
So,
Cool jacuzzi.
before we got on this topic, I was actually going to comment on the Kevin Hart being cast thing. It depends on how he plays the role. If it's just him making short jokes, then great.
Yeah.
That's about what I expect from him. But I feel like he could actually play the role well.
What if he does
I think-
an American Express ad like he's been doing the commercials? Or is it Capital One or something? I don't know.
Whatever.
One of those
I
credit
thought,
cards.
or I feel like going forward, and I don't know when the Borderlands movie is coming out, but I'm very hyped for, and it's because I've been reading the book in preparation for a board game, don't judge, for the Dune movie. And the one casting choice in there that I think is not exactly the same as Kevin Hart being cast as a character as serious and as faceted as Roland, but Jason Momoa being cast as Duncan Idaho in Dune, you know, that's more of a nuanced role than, you know, Aquaman or Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones, because even though Dune is like it's a sci-fi action thing, it's more about the intrigue of these like warring families, which makes it sort of like Game of Thrones in some respects, but it's not the type of thing where if you were like, yeah, it's the guy who plays Aquaman, he's great at action movies. It's not the kind of thing where a person like that would automatically succeed. So I feel like going forward, if he does well in that, that may be the new standard for like, hey, this is an actor adapting to something that's a little bit out of their wheelhouse. And it's not like that hasn't happened before with like Jim Carrey's serious movies or whatever, for lack of a better example that I can pull out of thin air. But I don't know. I hope he does fine, because Borderlands, I think, is one of those few early 2010s gaming franchises that I think could really work as a film.
And with that,
Agreed.
okay. So on to the question that we teased. Here's the line. You get to pick a game to survive 24 hours worth of gameplay in. Anything you obtain in that 24 hours of gameplay, you can keep. What game and why?
Okay. I have one question about the scenario. Does gameplay count being able to quick save?
As in, you can't die? Like, you
As
can,
in-
if you were about to die, or if you died, you can reload a save. Is that your question?
Yes.
For the purposes of this discussion, I'd say no.
Okay, die in the game, die in real life rules.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
high risk, high reward kind of thing. If there's a game that has a lot of good stuff in it, but there's also really hard, like you could probably die, that's the risk of all. Because if you could quick save, then Like that's just cheating.
Yeah, it's surviving, but it's certainly not surviving.
Yeah, survive 24 hours of gameplay and not like like quick save a million times. So like 24 hours of continuous unsaved gameplay, I would say.
We
Okay.
discussed this. You're the protagonist of whatever the game is, right? So you have like the powers that they would usually have.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you can't just
Hey,
be some
yo.
side characters.
I got it. Superman 64.
Well, you've already lost.
That's a real.
Okay, here's another.
That's
here's
a real ringer of an
You don't-
answer.
Here's a
You don't
question
get
I
his
have.
powers.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. By anything you obtain, does that mean if you obtain powers that the protagonist obtains, do you keep those powers? And think
I
we're
would
also gonna
say
no
no.
for that.
I would say
Yeah, no.
if they get it
If
during
you
the
get it
game,
during
yes.
the game, yes. But if you start with it like Superman, no.
Like if you choose Skyrim, you keep the shouts that you receive.
Right.
Yes.
If you can get to them in 24 hours.
I think you can. I mean, there's people who beat the game in like 40 minutes.
That's not the same thing.
Oh crap!
Hey, using plates to warp through walls is still gameplay.
Yeah, but true. But would you want to beat the game in that time, or would you rather just spend time looting?
No, I'd spend time looting. It's just I could use that to bypass danger or to like take advantage of the time limit.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm not
fair
saying that my answer is Skyrim. I'm just saying that a game with glitches that you can take advantage of gets a lot of points in this scenario.
That is true. I thought about this on the way from work. I would not pick Animal Crossing, because if I pick New Leaf or New Horizons, 24 hours is not really enough.
You're
to
starting from the
collect
beginning.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, you're starting from the beginning. Even if you're not, even if you're like skipping to get more content in that 24-hour span, you're still not going to really be able to collect everything, especially in New Horizons. And if you look at, say, the original or Wild World, there's not as much cool stuff that you can obtain in that time. It's too dependent on RNG for me to go, yeah, that's a smart idea. I mean, I feel like the coolest thing you could get from the original is an NES that plays one game exactly.
Nearly, if you could get a lot of cool junk, so could you in City Folk, but not in 24 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Animal Crossing is not a game you can just collect everything in 24
Okay.
hours.
So
So,
I wanna prompt this. So if I chose Stardew Valley,
Yes.
does that mean I get a farm? Because I
You get the farm.
technically obtain it.
You gain the farm after the intro cutscene. During the intro cutscene, kind of. I
but
think-
where would Stardew Valley be?
What my point is, okay, one, do I get the farm? The answer seems to be yes. Two,
Yes.
does it turn into a real life farm with all of the
Yes.
bonuses that come with it, or do I get a farm that is in a real life town that is similar to Stardew Valley?
I think that you get the farm, right? But all of the, minutia legally of owning a farm sort of gets glossed over in Stardew Valley because that, applying for subsidies doesn't make for fun gameplay. So you would have to apply for the same subsidies and clear all the debris on it in real life. And it comes down to if you'd want to do all that work in real life or in the game.
Well,
Well,
so the
it
thing
depends.
is,
If you
depends
did the
where
work
you
in the
get-
24
yeah.
hours.
If you clear, it would depend on how far you get in that 24 hours span. For the
it's
farm to be.
different on if it's your first play, like if you forget everything you know about the game when starting, or if you go into this 24 hours already knowing everything. Because if I went into it now, I could get very far in 24 hours. But if I was
So-
starting
Sure.
like I was my first playthrough, I would not have a lot of stuff. But like,
My vote is that Stardew Valley was going to become a real place. I don't know where it would be, but that's what it's gonna be.
And
Because it's kind of hard to deal with like some of the minusances of it if it isn't just
It's
real.
everything, yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't mind owning a farm, especially if I already had it kind of set up by the time I was done.
Mm-hmm.
And if the money was it transferred over to where like I could just grow a massive empire, based on a relatively small amount of crop, then that'd be awesome. And also, you could do a lot of mining in that time. You could just get a lot of gold, and then you go back to your
Like
regular life.
Stardew's
But
a pretty
also
good
have
choice.
yeah, like even if you don't
Ooh.
focus on the farm and like screw the farm, now you just have some land that can theoretically be whatever, and you also have a lot of gold. Like,
Which can be used to
Wait.
buy things.
Yeah.
The only problem is you'd have to be a little more careful than you would. It depends if you're not playing it right. Like
you're actually the one in
No,
there
you're
mining
I guess
and
I
fighting
would
the
think
enemies.
dungeon mining would be a little harder than what it is in the game.
Oh, so that brings Minecraft into this because you could get a lot done in 24
That's
hours.
a good point. You could
But it's
get
also
a-
Minecraft.
Do
All
you
you have to do
own
is hear a
things in
creeper and you're
Minecraft?
dead.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Do you own things in Minecraft?
Yeah,
if you're on a
but-
server that lets you grant ownership.
I mean, I would think you
so
own.
it's not like
if
you can go into the game and then open up the command window and just / give player Kirby to Yoshi 10,000 diamond. Like
Yeah,
right.
I think that console code, is not allowed in this, but glitches from like environmental stuff is fair game.
yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say the
Hey,
same
yo, GTA 5 so I can do that swing set glitch.
thing.
you die.
Those are so fun to watch.
I have another question about how we're defining this because I have some possible answers. When you're looking at in-game currencies, are we taking, like an assumed value from how much there is of that currency in the game, or if you were to scale up everything to real life, how much it would be worth? Like, are we saying a Mario coin is worth 1 cent, or are we saying that it is a coin that is like solid gold and
So
2 meters tall?
Something interesting. When I was a kid, like it was either I think it was Game Informer actually had like what the values would be
No,
worth.
it was
but I can't...
Game. I remember Game Theory made a video about it.
Yeah, Game Theory's
Game
done that
Theory
before.
did
No,
it
it was
before
like
too.
in a magazine. It had like what Mario's coin would be worth, what a rupee would be worth, what Donkey Kong's banana would be worth.
A banana.
And this is why King Kong will beat Godzilla.
Monkey.
Bananas.
Yeah. Well, like with Animal Crossing, that's just a direct correlation with Japanese yen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing
So,
with Poké Dollars.
I think so.
Yeah.
So my answer then, I will go with Skyrim, and I realize it's a dangerous game, but let us look at the main quest line, a very easy quest line, and there's difficulty settings in Skyrim, by the way. I didn't factor that in, but let's say I'm on easy difficulty. I only do like the first hour of game time. I get the Bleak Falls Barrow quest. I get the solid gold dragon claw that I can hold in my hand. And then I just hide the rest of the time because I've got a gold bar.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
That
you
is an
could
option.
you could totally just cheese it.
And if I want to find the ruby one, the pearl one, the obsidian one, I can do that. And that's like only a few quests. And if I want a magic item, I'll get a low-risk magic item. I'll get a Daedric artifact. I don't care. But I think it's low risk for how much that easy one-to-one profit would be.
Mm.
I was gonna say if I was focusing on like I wanted the challenge to survive and like have an experience more than like focus on obtaining things. 007, GoldenEye, and or Nightfire would be pretty wicked. I get the risk is very high because you're literally a secret agent, and you have to do a bunch of crazy stuff, including going to space. but the
I have a
experience
question.
would be incredibly fun. What?
What difficulty level are you on in this hypothetical situation?
So I would imagine it's like,
It's whatever you want it on,
well,
but
for something like that, I would probably say like the hardest because
yeah, if you're
you,
in it for the
I,
thrill, hard.
um,
If you're in it for the items, easy.
well, like you can't go in a game where the goal is to not get shot, and then you could just take like 50 bullets before you like actually need to hide, and then you can just like sit somewhere for 5 seconds and like, oh, I'm fully healed now. Like you can't do that. I would imagine it's more like you get shot, you get shot. Like that's the thing. And if you get shot critically, then you're probably gonna die. So you'd pick the difficulty where it's like bullets are like real life.
I wasn't gonna pick a challenging game.
I probably
where
wouldn't
I would
choose that over
die.
Stardew Valley because I think playing, even if I didn't get a lot of stuff from Stardew Valley, just having 24 hours of experience of living in Stardew Valley would probably be the most detoxifying, stress relieving, anxiety reducing, calming experience of my life.
But which
Especially if
girl
I'm
do you go after?
Do I keep her? Is that sounds really
That
wrong
was-
to say? Like, is she my?
That's
Yeah.
something else I was considering. Is if you start dating someone in the game, do they come back with you?
Well, okay, so
they're not
based
property.
on anything you obtain, and I wouldn't say dating is obtaining.
But you
I
obtain
wouldn't
their
say
heart.
So do you get the heart?
No,
You get their
No.
love, so
Yeah,
they
like
come
my
with you.
initial response is like very like, oh, women are property, haha, which is very bad, and so I would say no because women are in fact not property, and the men too. Nobody is property. I don't think you can obtain people because that just sounds like slavery and or sex trafficking. Which totally nullifies everything I just said about
But
it being the most
If you
distressful
sped
experience.
run a game where you got married, would they come with you?
like
See,
like at the end of the game.
Only
you get
okay,
married.
so if they are aware of the situation, then I would say let them choose. If they aren't, like they're just in the game and they think you're a character in the thing, then no. Because theoretically the game would stop existing. Right?
Okay,
This is
same
getting
question.
really existential.
Same question, different flavor. Choose League as the hypothetical game. How would you incorporate buying champions?
Maybe you become like Ben 10 and you can just morph into the other champions.
Well, you heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen.
League is just Ben 10.
Now, Apex Legends would be very high risk and you'd most certainly die, but if you made it out, well, no, I guess you would start.
You're not
as
in
the-
just
yeah,
one round of it.
Well, you're not.
Yeah, for
I was
24
gonna say-
hours.
I was gonna say you're not obtaining the powers in the game. You just start with them. So I was gonna say like, if I play Bloodhound, does that mean I can just like scan all the people and important objects in my location every 30 seconds, and I can just morph into a beast every 5 minutes or so for about a minute and just absolutely destroy everything in my path?
If we had not already defined that you don't get their powers.
Yeah, I was gonna say
yes.
you don't obtain them in the game. You start with them, so never mind.
Aw, darn, I wanted to be the caustic guy and jump out of a plane while farting. Which I guess I could do anyway, but not like he can.
You would not want to be caustic because his backstory is that he is a very like unethical scientist and often has killed many a people with the gas. He's been trying to create like the most toxic gas, and he watches people die and suffocate in it for his studies.
Yeah, there's a
And
magic character like that.
And he's been exiled to the Apex games, like, because he's avoiding arrest essentially. So I wouldn't want to come back as caustic and then have that background and just be like on the run from the cops. Although if I could make these gas bombs constantly, then I probably wouldn't have that problem. But you start with those
That's
powers, so you don't take them.
True. Yes.
So, I've considered a lot of games. I considered Zelda, but I feel like
There's a good chance you die.
There's a really good chance you die.
Yeah.
And like the good items aren't even till late in the game. Now, Majora's Mask, you could probably get all the mask, and that'd be cool. But what are you gonna do with them?
Turn into a Deku scrub.
Hey, look at what I can do.
I thought about, okay, what if you do Breath of the Wild, but you don't push it, but you do like some of the easy dungeons that are like puzzles, like there's nothing attacking you, it's just puzzles, and then you get enough to gain hearts and or stamina. Does that mean your stamina and or life, like your capability?
I would agree
Come
with
out
like
like you're muscular.
I would agree with the idea that the stamina is equivalent to real life stamina. So
Yeah,
all of a
I would
sudden
go
you
for the
have,
stamina just so I could just
Yeah.
cheat my way into being naturally more athletic.
But
I would just
let's
have
think
to.
about
Hearts, I
that.
don't know what they would go to.
Hearts and they good health, obviously.
Does that mean I
Hearts
can get
and
shot
stamina
an extra
don't
time in
change
real life?
Link, so you would look exactly the same, but with more stamina and more, however you want to define health.
Like, am I more resilient to disease, or
I
can
would
I just get
like
shot
say
3
more
times
resilient
now
to
instead of 2?
disease.
Like, I would put it all in the stamina because I don't really know what the hearts would correlate to, and if I could just wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden be able to like run several miles and be fine,
Looking exactly the same.
that would be hilarious. Now, because with
What
my
if I play Skyrim as an Argonian? Can I breathe underwater now?
do you start being able to do that, or do you obtain that power?
Well, you obtain it when you choose to start playing as an Argonian,
So
but you don't start the
Character
game with it. The cutscene in the beginning, you aren't defined as having a race.
Okay,
yet.
but character building kind of screws it because like you could say you pick a game like Skyrim or
Well, when you
Xenoblade
pick your
Chronicles X,
race, it is assumed that you were that race in the cutscenes up, because you're never really shown to be directly
That's true.
anything. So
That's
I
fair.
would consider starting with that, because you just don't define what you are until that point in the game, but you're
Mhm.
assumed once you pick that, it is like, oh, you were this guy in those cutscenes.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Good. So I've been thinking about it for a little while, and I think Paper Mario would be a really cool one, but I'm not sure how it would work. Because like if you go back,
if
are
you-
you just wearing a bunch of badges, or
Yeah,
you
no,
choose
just-
Color Splash, you have a hammer that can paint things however you want.
okay, that's actually
Cool.
kind of cool.
Do
yeah.
can
Yeah.
I get a badge that whenever I get into a fight with someone, I just get plus 10 health?
Yeah.
This made me think about just now Pokemon. You can't.
Yeah.
You just pass out when you lose.
Well, you don't even really
Yes,
pass
You
out.
don't. You don't.
Your
die,
Pokemon
your
pass
Pokemon
out.
do, yeah. Okay,
well, but then
that's-
when they all pass out, you black
You-
out.
Well, you black out
Yeah.
and you run like I've never really understood that because somebody has to take you to the
Then-
Pokemon Center, and you
I
wake up
think
in
you
front
black
of the
out in a
Pokemon
fit
Center,
of
so-
fear, like you forget what happened because you were so terrified because you've been this beast just destroying everything in your path, and all of a sudden now you can't fight anything, and then there's this like 10-foot tall water monster that could literally kill you with its weakest move.
I mean, I guess on that idea though, if you're doing it like that, then you can't die in Stardew.
Headcanon for the Pokemon whiting out thing is that you don't know who took you, but it's common courtesy for the opponent to do that because it must happen to everyone. And then when you lose money against a trainer fight, it's
Is it-
like Uber.
It's like in Stardew when
Oh.
you die in the, or when you pass out and the doctor's like, "Hey, I billed you $1,000 for me having to do that." You're
I
welcome.
robbed you.
The stronger and like more rich the character type is, the more money you lose. So it's like an Uber X.
Mm.
Dude, I would just get my Charmander and then not do anything.
Yeah, that's it. Like a baby Pokemon has the power to do so much in the real world.
That's
Alright,
true.
time to just sit.
Yeah, literally.
Aren't
Well,
you gonna
okay, so
leave?
And
how are we
depend-
defining this? Like, does blacking out count as a death?
No, it counts as blacking out.
There you go. You could get through the entire most Pokemon games, except for Heart Gold and
Hey.
Silver. You can realistically get to the end of the game in 24 hours of gameplay.
You can become the champion unless you're fighting Cynthia. Then you're not going to be the champion.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine going back home with this like gigantic beast, and it's just called Garantina. It's just, oh my gosh.
Ugh, you'd either become rich or the government would steal your Pokemon. So,
Yeah.
Oh, the sad truth. Yeah.
because you could
They
be
can
like,
try.
look, I have a real Pokemon.
They
Mom,
could try.
Mom, I'd like you to meet Ho-Oh. This is a bird that is also a god.
This is Lugia. It's the same deal, but a different type.
He's my best
So, wait.
friend.
Wait,
He's
so
my
are you
best
only able?
friend.
Sorry, are you only able to take 6 Pokemon back, or are you able to
No,
take your
I
whole
would say
PC?
Anything you caught.
when you come back, your PC has an adapter so that you can get the Pokeballs out of it.
So you just have like a
Let's
flash
do it.
drive with 500 Pokemon on it. That sounds pretty broken.
I think
Actually,
Pokemon takes the cake now. I like Skyrim still just because of the monetary aspect, but
But
Pokemon's up there.
So,
Pokemon's an easy pick. That's kind of where
I
was
kind of
leading,
feel like
earlier with my when I was thinking about it in the car was that I can't do anything with Pikmin. Animal Crossing takes too long, but then you got Pokemon.
You could
It's
do things with
easy.
Pikmin. You could do things with Pikmin. Just take like
They're an inch tall though.
yeah, and they can lift things that are incredibly large. So
you can have
That
like
is
3,000.
so if you just like yeah, if you just have a couple thousand and throw them at your TV, like, hey, can y'all move that over there? And they'll be like, yeah, for sure.
Especially
we don't
if you
need
have
food.
purple.
We don't need food. Except you just can't do it at night because they still get scared. Even though nothing's going to attack them in this world, they just
You just have the Onion and
It's-
Olimar's ship, or
it's an
the
instant,
recap
like-
ship just floating in one of your rooms.
yeah,
it's a cool model. It's
that'd
not
be
a
pretty
model.
cool.
It's not a model.
That would-
It'd be cool. It's not the biggest thing you could have, but it'd be cool to have.
Yeah. Well,
So one I had considered because I had realized like on the interesting idea of this, and I'll explain in a second. I considered at least the later Persona games, where you get a key to go to the Velvet Room, which is unconnected like in space and time to like anything. It just connects everywhere, so you could go back to the game you were playing.
so it's like
like,
the
even-
elevator from SpongeBob.
Yes, You
Yeah,
gotta remember.
that's probably a missed connection there. And I guess that'll end our discussion here. So,
Oh, wait.
you got
Hang
one more
on.
thing?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about it. What about like Fire Emblem? So like, would you get to
There's
keep
a
your
fair
like?
chance you die.
Oh yeah,
There's
I don't know. Do you get to keep the troops, or do you just get to keep the weapons?
So- If I wanted to make money fast, I would probably just pick like Stardew or Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay,
For
but-
fun, I think I might pick one of the later Personas just because I could speedrun it.
Okay, so to wrap this up, everyone pick the game you would want to do this with.
I'm still thinking.
I would say Stardew for sure.
All right, Alex.
Stardew if I wanted money, Persona if I wanted to have fun.
Well, which do you want? You got to pick.
I had to pick.
Yeah, you got to pick. You're being thrown into this world. What game are you picking to be thrown into?
Stardew.
Mayo.
We must be having some issues.
Maybe it's because Cameron's yelling at everybody.
yeah. Well, what do you want, Cameron? You're putting everyone on the spot. Where will you go?
I'll go Pokemon. Dude, I'll start in Johto, get my Totodile, win.
You can't win in 24 hours.
I don't have to beat the entire game. I just got to get to the Elite Four, clear it, and then I have Kanto and Johto with whatever little time I have left. But hear me out. I get a Ditto, and then I can breed whatever Pokemon I have left when I come back.
Cameron, you're a
And then I
freak.
can
Stop.
sell
Let's
them.
Stop talking right now.
I
You're a
can
freak.
sell them
Cameron's a
and
freak.
make money.
Caught you in
Oh,
4K.
Wait, so for Splatoon 2, if you die, like, let's just say you fall off the map, that's it, game over? Or
Yes.
dang. I was going to say Splatoon 2, but I'm like, never mind if it's that. Oh.
Pick one already.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do Fire Emblem, just because it'd be kind of cool. It'd be really cool to have a sword that you could just, like, stretch out super far.
Okay, so you're picking 3 houses?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But I would be, like, super careful. Like, I'd be like, alright, guys, we're saying...
Units, go forward!
Well, Byleth unlocks the power to turn back time in that game.
That is facts. Just, wait, so how does that work? Can I cheat death?
Yes, but only like 9 times.
That is technically how that works.
Um,
And that's not a power you start. Well, that's not technically a power you start the game with.
So good to keep it.
Okay.
Oh, that's actually sick. Yeah.
Mayo is back. Mayo, what game would you definitively pick? Pick one game.
Let's go with Skyrim.
Fair enough. Well, okay, that's gonna wrap up our extremely long show this week. Thank you for sticking with us. We hope you enjoyed listening to it. Please let us know what you would pick as your game to survive 24 hours worth of gameplay and why you would do so. We hope you enjoyed the episode this week. Be sure to come back next week for Pokemon stuff if anything happens.
Or Zelda stuff, if anything happens.
Or Zelda stuff if anything happens. Yeah, there's a lot of potential.
Or just if anything happens,
We're in
we'll
a
be
limbo.
here.
Come back anyway. We miss you. We enjoy you. We enjoy you having you around. So yeah, share us with a friend. We come out every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Central Time. YouTube.com/StormwindGames, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And yeah, that's going to do it here for us this week. So thank you so much for listening, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.